Bama Jaybird Resell. I'm Josh, in case you don't know. We are headed out to town, and Mama says it's cold.
It's very cold.
She's going to enjoy a day with her friends, and then I'm going to do a little bit of picking, go to a few thrift stores and see what we can find to resell online. Guys, first stop of the day here in Tuscaloosa. Let's head on in to America's Thrift Store and see what we can find. Man, I had no idea how good this day was going to be when I was walking in, but it was awesome. And please be on the lookout for anything that I might have missed during the video, and drop a comment and let me know about it. I always like to check out the cookware because so much of it is valuable, especially older, heavy-made stainless steel or copper-clad items like this Paul Revere, and I did really good today. Some nice Revere ware. Cool vintage item here. These are made to hold the Solo paper coffee cups. Not enough profit in them for me to pick them up today. Gonna go around the corner here and check out the toys. One of my favorite sections to scope out at every thrift store. So if you see something, again, let me know in the comments. I'm sure I miss stuff every trip. I always check dinosaurs. Even vintage dinosaurs that are not Jurassic Park are good, but always be on the lookout for Jurassic Park dinos. You can look on the foot and see that it's Jurassic Park. This is a really cool Chewbacca. It's not vintage and it doesn't have a price, so I passed. Price on it. You know what that means? We can't sell it to you. I'm just not seeing very much myself here on the boys side of the aisle. But let me know, what is it that you look for specifically? I think everyone that buys toys to resell has certain categories or subcategories they search in. So what do you hunt for? I'm not as good with the little girls' toys. I guess it's worth at least scanning this. Just never know. Yeah. Just not interested in that. Try not to buy everything today. Just want to find good stuff. This looks interesting. Strawberry shortcake. I decided to pass on this item, even though it's kind of cool. Just not my wheelhouse. So at this point, not having seen any real obvious pickups, I'm starting to think that maybe this isn't going to be that great a day. But let me tell you, I'm wrong. I'll find out later. It is a great day to be here at the thrift store. So again, no dice on the bag toys, though usually I have luck there. Moved on down, checked out silverware. I've been paying a lot closer attention to these items because of some of the resellers I follow having such luck reselling it. Nothing today. Take a quick look at the cups. Not my favorite section. Let's head on over to electronics, see what we can find there. I decided to pass on this later. Check that out in just a minute. Toshiba. This Toshiba DVD VCR combo player is the recorder as well. There are 164 listed and 255 sold in the last 90 days. I think I'll get somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 to $75 plus shipping. This HomeMedics model PA-1 handheld back massager. Sell-through rate is a little lower, under 50%, but they sell well, and I think I'll get between $20 and $25 for this. Well, I was excited for like a hot minute, and then when I looked in the box, this was a Blu-ray player and not the DVD VCR combo.
You gonna take a chance on that one?
I'm gonna take a chance on it.
I hear you.
Have to buy about 3 to find one that works usually.
Well, yeah, I bought one of the other ones over on 15th Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Bad off. It didn't work at all.
Uh-oh.
I plugged it up though. It came on and that was it.
Huh. Sporting Goods is another favorite of mine, and I always find good stuff here. I got 2 really good gloves here to resell. I think I should get, you know, maybe like $35 or more for each of these. Neither are huge money makers, but just good gloves and a good time of year for them. A couple of baseball gloves. They also had several pieces of catcher's equipment, and this can sometimes be really good. I did take time to look some of this up, but at the price they were asking, there just wasn't enough value in it for me to make the purchase. $25 for it, it's too much. 25 is just too much. Can't do it. Alright guys, if you can see this or not, but this is still a new tailor-made 4-iron. This is the RSI. There's 2 of these. There's also there's a 4 and a 5-iron. Also a Wilson 1 Callaway XR, which is a great club. Got a Ping G10. Wilson. And there's a set of Cleveland wedges that can be cleaned up. 3-wood Callaway. Adams hybrid. And this is $19.99. So we're putting that in the cart. Man, what an awesome find. I think I'm going to make like $350 by the time all these are sold. So I rounded the corner from the golf clubs and I saw this cart that had came out, and I hurried down to take a look, and to my surprise I find a really awesome vintage item. Wait till you see this, guys. It is an olive berry 2.5 quart Pyrex casserole in perfect condition. Now they had $6.99 on the sticker, which was a little much for what they sell for, but I still think I can get $25 to $30 for this, so I picked it up. I don't see them very often. $6.99 on that Pyrex covered casserole. That's awesome. So I came back around to the cookware because they have been putting more stuff out, and yeah, there was a lot more Revereware items in great condition, all vintage, and I love this stuff, guys. I buy this. It's usually $2 to $3, maybe $4 an item. Sold individually, you won't do as well on this oftentimes unless it's a really special or unique item. But what I have found is that if you can collect enough pieces and sell it as a set, you can probably make 3 times the money that you have invested in it, especially if you're getting it cheap. And sometimes I'll get a pot with the lid for like $1.99. Sometimes I pay $3.99, sometimes $4.99. It depends. But I won't have very much invested in a set and can sell it, you know, $150 or more for like 10 to 12 pieces. I'm also looking at this other set of cookware. This is really cool stuff, heavy made. A little clue when you're trying to decide whether or not cookware is worth looking up, unless it's Revereware, of course. Look at the side of the pots, and if it is etched into it what the brand is, oftentimes that was a higher end brand that is vintage, and you want to look those up because you would be surprised at how valuable some of this cookware can be. This particular set here is called Seal-O-Matic, and they had quite a few pieces of this, guys. Pretty much an entire set of this cookware. As I'm picking some of this up, you'll notice on the bottoms that they have a lot of buildup, and this can be aggravating to try to clean. But if you haven't heard about this before, a quick tip: use Barkeeper's Friend. You can find it. I get mine at TJ Maxx normally, but I think they sell it at Walmart. it is a really, really good item to have around, especially if you're going to be sourcing cookware that needs a good scrubbing. It just does a great job at shining it up and getting off all that buildup that occurs over the years.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's a nice pot. I looked at it earlier.
Yes, it is. Stainless too.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of it? $15. Not bad. I know. You know what?
Yeah, I was asking about your thing because my fiance, he has one and he uses it on his motorcycle all the time.
Oh, okay.
He has it on his helmet.
I've got a YouTube channel where I do like thrifting and picking and stuff like that, yard sales, and so I try to do enough footage to put together a video. But if you record the whole time, you sit there for hours just trying to trim it down to make.
Edit it so much.
I mean, nobody's gonna watch more than about 15 or 20 minutes. So you spend all day long. You got like 8 hours out, so you just have to kind of pick and choose.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Do you do voiceovers on them or you just?
Well, I have to when the music's loud because the music, I'll get copyright strike for that.
Oh
so.
yeah.
So usually I voice over like here.
Inserted and everything, saying
Right.
you know I do not own copyright.
Yeah, and then still YouTube can still just mute your
out.
well they'll just mute it, and so.
And
But
be sitting
does
there
he post
mouth,
his?
Just mouth moving and everything.
Right.
He just likes to really just use.
He
it
just saves them
giveaways
for
and
him.
stuff.
Oh, okay. That's cool stuff. I use it for other stuff too. It's fun to take on vacation and stuff like that.
Of course, you know, I've got to check out the hats, but there wasn't a whole lot going on here today. I thought that one might have been vintage, but it's not. They're making a lot of repros that look like the vintage hats. I do grab this cowboy hat. I've got a little nephew who I thought would really like it. This would have sold for like $25, but it's worth a whole lot more just seeing his face light up when he put it on. So I moved on down to the shoes. I ordinarily don't find a whole lot at this particular thrift store, but I get lucky today. I found this pair of Crocs. I'm going to grab these. You know, Crocs aren't going to sell most of the time for a really high dollar amount, but they sell really good. So big bolo alert here, guys. These are women's New Balance 992. These have over a 70% sell-through rate in used condition and often sell for well over $100. It's also got another pair of Crocs women's mules with the wedge on them. Sometimes the women's Crocs, some of the designs can go for really good money. You just have to look them up and figure out what the actual style is, and you might be surprised sometimes what you get for them.
I started to not even walk over here, so I'm kind of glad I did. It's a couple of really solid pickups there.
One last really good pair of shoes here, and another good brand to watch out for. These are Alturas. If you don't know about these, look them up, check them out. Different styles will sell for different amounts, and of course have different sell-through rates. But this is a pretty good pair, really good condition, so I'm going to grab these as well. Bolo time again. Check out this Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper. This come fresh off a cart when I was on my way to the register. Can't believe I found this. First time finding a cool Lisa Frank item, but I've heard about these for a while. These are super collectible, highly sought after.
All right, guys. Well, that was an absolutely epic stop at the America's Thrift Store, guys. Everything from golf clubs, Lisa Frank. First time finding that. I've heard about it a lot, seen it a lot on videos. Hopefully it's a good pickup. It was only a couple of bucks, so I didn't really have much to lose on it. But man, DVD VCR combo, a really good one, a Toshiba, 2 Pyrex that are perfect condition, several pieces of Revere, and then that Vapomatic cookware set that I think I'm gonna do real good on. It was less than $200 altogether, I think about 180 bucks, but I've got a ton of stuff. Last stop of the day, that's running here to my just kind of mom and pop style thrift shop for this, just a quick stop. See what I can find. Hopefully it'll be just as good as the last two. I'm gonna have a mess to dig out of the truck.
Starting things off right with a really nice pair of vintage orange tab Levi's. These should do really well, probably 20 to 30 bucks here. Another awesome vintage find. This is a blanket lined JCPenney denim jacket. This is really cool. I'm not positive on the price here, but the comps look pretty good. I think I'll get at least 50 or more, maybe as much as $100 for this. And this next find is really awesome too. This is a vintage Pendleton red plaid blazer. Just a super cool, awesome vintage find. This should also bring pretty good money. I'll put a comp up on the screen. So we scored a Carhartt hoodie. These have a great sell-through rate. Should get somewhere around $35 for this. And then next up on the rack is a vintage Nike center swoosh on the chest t-shirt. I like this a lot, long sleeve. So I picked this up as well. I think I'll get about 10 to 15 bucks at least for that. Moving on, I continue to go down this rack, and there were a couple of other good scores. I grabbed this Orvis vest. This is a zip vest. It's got the leather patch on the shoulders. It's really cool. It's kind of a knit material, very heavy. I think I'll do good on this, probably $25 or $30. I like to pick up vests. I think they tend to do pretty well, and these are a little more unique. There's not as many listed usually. So I added that to the bag, and moving on, just dragging it with me. It's starting to get full. That's not a bad problem to have. The last sourcing video that I stopped here, I picked up several Ralph Lauren Blakes. This is another Ralph Lauren button down in very nice condition. I'm going to grab that. Again, in an extra large, good size, good colors. Just hard to pass them up, guys. I mean, $3 isn't bad. Everything's $3. So the clothing haul was really good here today. Generally at this particular shop, it's either feast or famine. I go in and I get a bag full of stuff, or I may go in there and be lucky to pull one item. It all depends on when they've put out, because resellers come in and just like I do, at $3 an item, we strip, the racks pretty clean. So as I'm going down through here, you'll notice I pulled a polo Ralph Lauren long sleeve polo shirt. That should do pretty well. And just like in my previous stop here that I recorded, I'm picking up several of these Ralph Lauren polo button downs. Some are long sleeve, some are short sleeve. I'm about to do the third one right here, and then there's going to be another one soon after this. So just a really good haul overall for the Ralph Lauren polo brand. I know some people probably don't buy this because there's so much of it listed, and the sell-through rate maybe is not what some would like it to be. But again, it's all about how you define the sell-through. Go back and watch that previous video that I made. I'll link it here in the description, where I went over sell-through rate as it pertains to price and not just the item itself. So these Ralph Lauren polo dress shirts, the Ralph Lauren polo Blakes, they all have really good sell-through rates in the right sizes if you price it the right way, and especially if you lot them together. Now this is a super cool vintage Pro Line Alabama polo made in USA. I really like this. I think I'll list it on eBay, but I may end up doing better listing this locally using Facebook Marketplace. So coming up is the last of the polo button-down shirts that I'm picking up. This one's probably more like a camp shirt or something that you would refer to that way. It's got the double pockets on the front. So the next items I pick up are two Polo Ralph Lauren polo shirts. Again, I don't suggest buying these all the time or buying them for just any price, but at $3 each, it's just hard to pass these up, because just like the Blake shirts, at $3 each, I can lot 3 or 4 of these together in the same size and sell them for a pretty good profit and move them pretty quickly. All right, one final item to wrap up the day of thrifting. This is a vintage Harley Davidson t-shirt, not super old, but in really good condition, and I think this will move pretty well. It's a cool style, so definitely always be on the lookout for good Harley Davidson items. It sells really well. There's a huge market for this stuff online. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That was a really fun trip out to do some picking at the thrift stores. Found some really nice items, really cool stuff. Can't wait to get all of it processed and start getting some of it listed. But you guys, as I always say, I love you, God loves you, and guys, whatever you do, don't give up. Stay at it. See you on the next one.